Hey team, we're going to do some lunchtime martial powers. So give me a moment while I check to see if everything is coming through. Check to see if that sounds like an affirmative. Hold on, I need to post some stuff on the Discord. Give me a hot second while I boost my signal here real quick. While I'm doing that, if you want to check down in the description down below, there is a link to my Twitter feed, as well as you can follow me on Twitter to get notifications when I go live with stuff like this. And I'll be posting here in a hot second that I'm live, so you'll be in the moment with reality as I parse that out. So just give me another moment here. Pop. There's a bunch of channels I like to punch. And then clear Discord out of the way. And then I'm going to go into the, let's see, what we got going on down here. Martial powers. We're going to, there it is. Spend a little time today developing new feats and how to interact with martial powers using feats and exploits, as well as cost parameters for different options that are available. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I just need to take a moment here to boost all the signal stuff. Today we explore feats and exploits, and then we'll go down here, grab this to here, there, and there, and there, and signal punched. Okay, cool. So if you followed me on Twitter, it is now live. If you are in the past, then well, you'll see it. Okay, cool. So let's. Oh yeah. Also down in the Twitter down below is a link to my Patreon, which will take you to a description page. You don't have to be a patron to access this information, but this is the Martial Powers playtest content where we've been building everything into. If you click the Discord link down below, it will take you to my Patreon. My Patreon says, go to this document link here, and you'll be in the mix with me. So this is where we are exploring space today. You are most welcome to come along and sing a song. So let's see. Also in the description down below, there's a link to my DMsGuild books. This will also be among those DMsGuild books once this publishes early next year. You can see everything there's got a 35% discount, and the reason I bring it to your attention is because if you click on any of those books and then look at the preview, it's 100% preview, cover to cover, so you can read the entire thing to know the quality of production that I provide. All that artwork is mine. So I create these ideas, I punch them out into monkey text. I then hire somebody smart to code it to sound like D&D stuff, and once the coding is done, then I get to come back here and build the artwork and the page layouts, and then we publish it, and you'll see the whole process from where we began back in January up till now, through now into February, where we're expecting it to publish. So this would be a year-long project where you've seen it basically build from ideation into completion. So that's what we do. That's what third-party content producers do with our RPGs. We have to create the ideas, figure out how to express it, hire somebody smart to check our work, and then lay it out so it looks pretty, and then put artwork into it so that it provides additional visual information for you to kind of grok what we're doing. So give me a let me set a timer here. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to set a timer so that we can keep an eye on how we're spending our day, and then we'll officially start. maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll get better at doing this stuff in the future. It's all kind of ad hoc at the moment, and just kind of. I know I'm going to do stuff, but I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do. I have an idea what the theme is. I just don't know how things shake out. So please like, subscribe. I almost have 100 subscribers. I need another 3,500 hours of content views. So the best thing you can do for me is like, and then watch a couple different streams of the different stuff, like the artwork that I've built, or the different development streams for the different products that we're putting out there. All this stuff is going to be 100% preview when it's done. So if you're the type of person that's like, I think you're a jerk for trying to charge me money for the work that you do, Phil, I got you covered. Because if you don't like paying for stuff, but you like new ideas, then check out the free samples that are on the product pages of all these things are on DMsGuild. If you're excited about developing these things, obviously support my work so that I am similarly encouraged to continue. Also, link down below, I think, is the Packs and Patrons link. That is a Ravnica Warlock book, and that is a mere 2 sales away from gaining copper. So if you really want to support me, throw $5 in my pocket by picking up the bundle, or pick up the book by itself, and I appreciate that. So let's get back on task. So we're finally actually getting into the document. Here we are, the playtest document here, the martial powers, in the Patreon description down below. You don't have to be a patron to access these powers. So let's see where we are at. Going up, DM use of powers. Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we are going to explore the idea of, let's go back down here. We got strikes, we got sustained powers, a lot of sustained powers. And then we got this feats as powers progression, right? So at first rank, or rather at first level, right off the bat, these are, instead of learning a power, I'm gonna flip to this other playtest window here. So this is the amount of powers that you have over the course of your character's growth, up to 16. If you decided to take, like, say, 5 levels in fighter, 5 levels in ranger, 5 levels of paladin, and 5 levels of rogue, that's going to give you 20 levels, right? Those that's 6 times 4, that's going to end up being 24 powers that you know, as opposed to if you had just been a single class character that went up to 16. The big difference that you see here is that if you cut off your progressions at 5th level, you can't learn powers above 2nd rank, and they go up to 4th rank here at 13th level. But you can have a maximum of 5 mana that you can spend on any given power at any given time. And multi-classing as we talked about last week, multi-classing will allow you, if you take 20 levels of channeling classes, or these martial power infused classes, then you will eventually be able to your max limit will be 5 mana that you can spend on these powers. But if you keep multi-classing at low level, you wouldn't know a power higher than 2nd rank. In this example of 4 classes at 5th level each, you'd have a smattering of each class features, but most importantly, it's the powers that continue to progress. You would add your individual mana pools, you would add together the individual number of powers that you know, and you would be restricted by the max rank of power you can learn based on whichever class gets highest level. So, like, if you went, say, 10 paladin, 5 fighter, 5 rogue, you would be limited to learning only up to 3rd rank powers, even though you'd be able to spend a total of 5 mana on each power, assuming that it allows you to do that. And most of these powers let you scale up damage based on the amount of points that you spend. Like, for example, the corroding strike, your weapon can deal acid and necrotic damage and add 1 power die per mana burn. And so as you gain levels, if you spend 5 mana, you can add 5 power die, just like Smite with Paladin. The more mana you spend, the higher damage you can deal, even though this is only a 1st rank strike, corroding strike or disarming strike or phase strike. Even though they're only 1st rank powers, you can gain them at 1st level. They don't cap out in their damage until you get to 17th level. So it's got a very long tail that the class rewards you to multi-class throughout a number of different channeling class feature classes so that you can continue to accumulate max power that you max amount of mana that you can spend on per power, even though by multi-classing you aren't able to get into the higher ranks of actual powers. Like you would have to have 13 levels in a single class for you to ever get up to Banishing Strike and Paralyzing Strike, for instance. There's also, what do we got down here? There's a lot of strikes, dude. Got Ultra Reality and Master of Fate. There's a lot of neat stuff that we got going on. Oh, these are, let's see, Sustain. Oh, that's right. There were no strikes that came from the Blood Hunter. That's okay. But yeah, none of these things are higher than 4th rank. So even if you clip yourself off at 13th level and leave 7 levels open, like 13 level fighter, 7 level paladin is a neat blend to go with. You'll eventually get to 5th rank power. You'll be able to spend 5 mana, even though your fighter at 13 is only getting you to 4th rank powers. So really good multi-class synergy. So that's a quick skinny on how that goes. The feats specifically, instead of learning a power that you would spend mana on, you could instead choose to learn a feat, which is great because in the world that we're in right now at 5.0, when you gain an ASI, you're either going to spend that on gaining stats or you're going to spend it on getting a feat. If it's a half feat, then you'll get a +1 to stat as well as whatever the feat benefit is. So that is requiring the marshal to split their channel, as it were, between am I going to get better at my raw stats or am I going to get more character options through feats. This allows you to focus your feats on gaining ASI so you become a more potent character overall. And then you can choose to select, as powers that you learn each level, you can choose to pick up these different feats. At 1st level, at 1st rank, these are all the feats that you can learn. 2nd rank, which comes in at 5th level, here's the different feats that you can learn as well. Let's see, one of the things that I'm not sure necessarily how to integrate this, but let's see, new power, new feats. This is going to be reduce costs. What was that? Optimize channels. Practiced discipline. It's going to be let's see, 6 level plus max. That's janky language, but we're gonna leave it there for now. You gotta be a channeler, and you have to be 6th level to gain this. Oh wait, let's see. Choose a power you have learned. Of 2nd rank or higher. You reduce the minimum reduce the cost of channel this power by 1 mana. If you later swap this power for another. You must also replace practice discipline with a new power. So what does this let you do? Your 6th level. So at 6th level, you can learn second rank powers. If you choose to learn a second rank power, this is by taking this, it basically allows you to learn the power twice, and doing so drops the cost of mana by 1. You can take this feat more than once, applying the benefit reducing the cost of a different second rank or higher martial power with each practiced discipline you choose. Let's say practice discipline and is higher, reduce the cost to channel the power by 1 mana. Later, swap this power for another. You must also swap superior. Get out of here, Skywag. Discipline or another power. One. I'm gonna do that. Third rank or higher, superior discipline. Maybe this isn't necessary for me to do this. So you can take this feat for multiple times across multiple disciplines that you've learned at second rank or higher, and then you can take it multiple times for a power you know that's above first rank. Second rank, third rank, fourth rank is the max. So there's superior discipline, which will take it from third rank down to second rank, which you can then take practice discipline, superior discipline, and then this would be, what would this be? It would be Paragon. Superior discipline. Choose a power you've learned of 4th rank. Reduce the rank and amount of mana. Required to channel the power by 1. So you learn a power, then you choose to learn, you learn a 4th rank power, then you choose to learn Legendary Discipline, which drops it from a 4th rank to a 3rd rank power, only requiring 3 mana to spend. At that point, you can then spend Superior Discipline, which takes it from a 3rd rank to a 2nd rank power, only 2 mana to spend, and then you can spend a 4th power to learn Practice Discipline, which reduces it from a 2nd rank to a 1st rank power, requiring only 1 mana to spend. So, going back to our super chart, we go back down here to disciplines. Like, for example, Swift Attunement. Use an object interaction to attune to a magic item you're holding. Pretty niche case, right? You're holding an object, you're not attuned to it, you can spend an object interaction, which is a free action that you can use during the use of the magic item itself. You become attuned to it while you're using it. It costs 4 mana, but so you learn that at 13th level, you learn Swift Attunement, and that costs you 1 discipline to learn it, but it's going to cost you 4 mana to use Swift Attunement. Instead, what you could do is you could then take 3 feats of the discipline chain to drop that cost from 4 mana to 1 mana. So even though you would have, say, a maximum of, well, okay, so you have to be 13th level in a single class, right? So let's go back up to 13th level to see where we're sitting with that. All right, so you're gonna know 12 powers at that point, right? And of those 12 powers, you're going to invest 4 of them into Swift Attunement and driving the cost of Swift Attunement down to only 1 mana. If you're building a Monty Hall character, an Artificer doesn't even qualify for this, because an Artificer doesn't gain martial power directly. It can only craft items, but you could theoretically craft an item that would be able to use these disciplines, but you would have to burn 4 of your infusion slots to get this Swift Attunement, like this wristwatch of Swift Attunement. I mean, I don't know why an Artificer would do that, but you could have any Monty Hall character that's like a fighter that's got like a dozen objects on him that require attunements. So whenever he grabs that, like maybe it's an Eldritch Knight that's using martial powers, and so at 13th level, he's grabbing a wand of fireballs, and he needs to attune to it. So he's going to sink 4 ranks into Swift Attunement. So he grabs the wand of fireball. While he grabs it, he is attuning to it for 1 mana, and then pop, going to hit you with the fireball. Then chucks that, he grabs a wand of Hold Person and drops that down to 1 mana to attune to it immediately, and then pop, hits you with that and tucks that aside, grabs a staff of the Magi, who knows. So you can cycle through magic items that way. I as a DM don't hand out so much magic items that you would need to consider having this chain attunement action loop. But I could see someone going like Fighter 13, Artificer 7, and having access to just a bunch of stuff, and then being able to swap out attunements on items. Anyway, that's the thought process behind that. So now we are going to sweep through the we're gonna sweep through the powers that exist to see if, thank you, we're going to see if any of the powers that exist get screwed up by offering that lower mana cost. It's a neat idea. It was easy to parse it out. The mechanics are simple. It's a straightforward concept, but does it break anything that exists? And what would we need to change about that thing to make it work? So keep in mind, by the time you're able to do this, you have to be in a single class that's a high enough rank to be able to learn these powers in the first place, which means 6th, 9th, or 13th level is the level limits that you have to hit on something. Already, it's siloing you into maybe one multi-class option, which is fine. I love multi-classing. I'm a big fan of it. Obviously, I'm building this whole system to curve into multi-classing as an advantage of taking the martial powers. Just checking how my clock is clicking along. Looks like we're doing okay there. Flip over here real quick. Clicking along. Cool. All right, we're going good. Okay, cool. So let's just stream through. And again, if you're reading along with me, click on the Patreon link down below. It'll take you. You don't have to be a patron to access this information, but it is a read-only document. This is not something I'm putting out there into the multiverse. This is something that we are developing that will go on the DMsGuild eventually. Click on the link below to see the list of DMsGuild books that I have released that involve color mana for MTG enthusiasts that want to play color mana campaigns. All those books are 100% paid cover to cover preview for you to look at. This will be that as well. This is designed to curve into those mechanics to work with them. So I want you to play a cleric barbarian for Gruul, for instance, like a paladin of you go with like a paladin of conquest for Orzhov. Who knows? But I want you to use color mana with this power system, multi-classing with other spellcasters that are in the Revenant setting, so you can build a more realized character that has a unified resource mechanic, which in an MTG campaign really should be color mana. Like you could use superiority dice as a Battlemaster fighter, but we have all the maneuvers plus another 150 of them listed here for you to use. And if you're playing a Boros fighter, you could just use martial powers and then devote all of your mana to white and red mana, so that you can, instead of using superiority dice, you can be using actual color mana as per your Boros card to create Boros Swiftblades or Boros Reckoner, whatever it is that you want to build. And once this thing is done, we can actually start going to our Patreon and start building out niche classes like the Swiftblade, like the Reckoner. Like we can have a Reckoner class that doesn't so much have to be focused, an archetype that doesn't necessarily have to be focused on what class is it, but more so, what powers are you going to learn to express the Reckoner? What powers are you going to learn to express the Swiftblade? And once you have that line of powers stacked up, then you can choose, well, I want to be a Paladin Reckoner, or I want to be a Ranger Reckoner, or I want to be a Rogue Reckoner. It's like, that's great. It's the kit of powers that you're using that spend mana that determine whether you're a Reckoner or not. And whatever class you want to use, if you want to go Warlock, Artificer, Ranger, and that's your Reckoner, then all three of those classes can build into your martial powers so that you're using this Boros energy to do this combat gish stuff. So that's the drive behind all that. If you want to do airbender stuff, if you want to be a defender of Boston Say, for instance, from Avatar: The Last Airbender, you could use martial powers using Earth mana or Earth Key to learn a bunch of Earth disciplines. So all the stuff that you're doing is using Earth magic to express yourself as a Boston Say defender. So the mechanics that we're building are intended to add an additional mechanical layer of character expression, so that the narrative and the mechanics line up with the character fantasy that you're attempting to depict inside of your game. And if your DM's on board with this stuff, you can really lean into the elements or color mana or whatever other power magic paradigm that you're choosing to use in your campaign to express things that characters see in the campaign. And we're going to spend time on that once we clear all this feat gate that we're working on right now. Then we'll be able to dive back into the intended plan of DMs adding this stuff to their campaigns. So let's keep moving on. Again, all this stuff is free for you guys to look. We've already built out all the subclasses and the modifications to existing subclasses, so you can play an Arcane Archer and swap out powers for Arcane Archer if you want, and dive into all this stuff with it. But so we are going to look at what gets screwed up if we start dropping the cost of mana because you've spent feats to drop the cost of mana. Blah, blah, blah. So there you go. Let's take a look at what we can see. So it's going to cost at least a minimum of 1. So that's not going to change. So these things are fine. Let's go to number 2. When using the help action to grant advantage to the ability check of an ally within 30 feet, roll 1 power die per mana channeled to the ally's die roll. So normally this would be 2 ranks. If we spend an extra feat to drop it down to 1st rank, it literally doesn't change. It's just the buy-in cost that changes. So you can make it cheap. It costs 2 mana as opposed to 1 at 6th level unless you spend a feat, you buy an extra feat to reduce the cost. You still have to be 5th level to gain access to this stuff. Now it's just forcing you, it's forcing that delay. Actually, that's a really good point because it's not 5th level that you gain this stuff. New feat, feats, 1st rank. No, yeah, it is 1st rank, 2nd rank, new feats. Requires 5th level, 9th level, 15, there we go. That's straight now. So that works. Fast feat. When you take the dash action, you can also disengage or dodge as part of the same action. That becomes like a monk. We were I love this. See, we took a bunch of stuff from other classes and we charged more based on the level of character, or the tier that your character is in when you gain access to the power or the ability, like the Step of the Wind monk class feature, for instance. I believe you get it at 5th level, so we were charging 2 for that to give the monk an advantage. The monk gets it for free. A fighter could get it, but it's going to cost you 2 mana every time you do it. Well, if you spend this extra feat, it'll drop down to 1. Can't become 0, it can remain 1. And since you only have to spend 1 mana on it now, like when you were doing cooperative, like if you were doing fast feat, that one's not a good example. Precise attack. When you make an attack roll with advantage and roll 1 power die per mana channel. So you would roll 2 20-sided, you would roll at 6th level, at 5th level, that's when you gain 2nd rank powers, you'd be rolling a d6. So you would make an attack roll, you would roll 2 extra d6s, and you would add whichever d6 is higher to your d20 roll. Kind of like a bardic inspiration, but it's like advantage on the inspiration roll, and you gain as much advantage as you're willing to spend mana on up to your max mana limit. So here, you have to spend 2 mana to use this ability, and that means that you're automatically going to get to roll 2 dice and add the best result. But instead, if you spend a feat to drop the precise attack down to only 1 mana, then when you use precise attack, yeah, you only have to spend 1 mana on it, but you're also only going to roll 1 die when you do it. So these ranks are gatekeeping when you gain access to them as appropriate for the rank or the tier of play that you're in your campaign. You don't want 1st level characters casting using Banishing Strike every time they hit something, because it just pulls something off the battlefield and they stay off the field until they can succeed the DC, the saving throw DC. But at 13th level, it's perfectly appropriate for you to be able to banish stuff and for it to cost you a lot of mana to do it. But then you invest a lot of feats into buying down the cost. You'll only, if you buy the cost down to 1, you would only be doing like an extra d10 damage on it, but also they have to make that saving throw to prevent being banished because you are a 13th level character. You've just kitted your character out to not have to spend stupid amounts of mana to cast Banishing Strike. You're not going to do a lot of damage, but the saving throw effect is super freaking sweet. So it becomes comparable. Basically, it's maybe not as good as Stunning Strike, but it costs the same. So it builds that dynamic where these things, if you want to hyper invest in specific action loops that you want for your character, then you can afford to do them more often. As your mana pool increases, you can drop the cost to do it, so your pool ramps and the cost to use it drops, so you get a lot more abilities, so you can get yourself to a place where you're, you know, amongst throwing out 60 stunning strikes per long rest if you're getting your 2 short rests per day like you're supposed to. But if he kits into Banishing Smite, Banishing Strike, instead of doing the stunning strike, you hit, you deal extra damage, and bam, they got banished as opposed to stun. So it's just how you want to kit out your character. Where do you want to invest your feats and your power learning versus where do you want to invest your mana? So it's a really fun player dynamic there. So we're just gonna keep processing through shit to see if there's anything that pops up that is just absolutely inappropriate, and then we'll fix it. So Cooperative Effort, when using the help action to grant advantage to the ability check of an ally within 30 feet of you, roll 1 power die per mana channeled to let's see. When using the help action to grant advantage to the ability check of an ally within 30 feet of you, roll 1 power die per mana channel adding the highest result to the ally's die roll. That's language that's going to be really repetitive. That is the natural language that we have of 5e. It'd be nice to just kit this thing so that it doesn't, I don't have to reiterate that over and over again with each power. It just seems like padding. But make an ability check that uses the tool proficient with, roll 1 power die per mana channeled. Adding the highest, that probably makes sense. Channeled, comma. When making an ability check that can use the stealth skill or when rolling initiative, roll 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest roll to your result. Anticipate when making an opportunity attack, roll with advantage. When making an ability check that you can use the Deception, Performance, or Sleight of Hand skill, roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest roll to your result. When you move 10 feet or more towards an enemy, this movement doesn't provoke an opportunity attack, and you can add 1 power die per mana channel. 1 power die per mana channel to the first attack roll. And you can roll and there we go, that seems, and let's see, it doesn't provoke attack of opportunity, and you can roll 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest roll to your result. Highest roll to the first attack roll. Hey, that works. 10 feet. You gain climb speed equal to your movement bonus plus your proficiency bonus multiplied by 10 until the beginning of turn. You can climb this way without using your hands. Commanding presence. When making an ability check that can use the Intimidate, Performance, and Persuasion check, roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest roll to your result, comma. Additionally, you can roll 1 power die mana channeled, comma, adding the highest roll. See, you can make adding the highest result roll to the attack. That's probably not proper. In addition, you can channel strike power at any range. Far shot. You can make a ranged weapon attack at far range without disadvantage. In addition, you can channel put a tab in that. Let's go fishing here real quick for spellcasting, powered weapons, multi-classing, power, exploits, maneuvers, reactions, strikes, sustained, range of effect, and ending power effects. Okay, range of effect. Martial powers that target enemies either have a listed range, an area of effect, or require a weapon attack. If the power has a listed range or area of effect, you only need to see the creature or location to affect it. Powers that require a weapon attack can be done with any weapon you're proficient with. Any weapon you're proficient with, or unarmed strikes. With natural weapons or unarmed strikes. Thrown and ranged weapons can use powers when targeting within normal range unless a power, ability, or feature says otherwise. There. Okay, so that is the official language on range of effects. So going back to here, range of effects is far shot. You can make a ranged weapon attack at far range without disadvantage. In addition, you can channel a strike power. In addition, you can channel a strike power when you hit a target at far range using this exploit. That's better language. Field Medic. When making an ability check, you can use the medicine, the survival check, or a healer's kit. Roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest roll to your result. When making an ability check, you can roll with advantage. Power die channeled, comma, adding the highest roll to your results. Power die channeled, comma, adding the highest results. Channeled, comma, channeled, comma. You can choose a creature that you can see within 30 feet to use their reaction to move up to 15 feet. Cool. When making an ability check, you can use channeled, comma, channeled, comma, channeled, comma. You can instead use the tool as an object interaction. Per mana channeled, comma, per mana channeled, comma. When making an ability check, you can use history, insight, investigation check. Add 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest roll to your results. Period. When making an ability check, that can use the intimidation skill or while rolling to determine if you maintain concentration. Roll 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest roll to your result. Good. Channeled, comma, result. Okay, so that's getting cleared up. Adding the highest result. Channeled, comma. When you're making a saving throw, you can want power die per mana channel, comma. Making an ability check, you can add your proficiency bonus even if you aren't proficiency, you have expertise, and you're holding. Okay, cool. So I suspect all these exploits are going to be A-okay. I'm liking how that language stitched up though. So checking through these again. Cooperative effort. When using the help action to grant advantage to the ability check an ability within 30 feet of you, roll 1 power die of mana channeled, adding the highest result to the ally's die roll. Fast feet. When you take the dash action, you can also disengage or dodge as part of the same action. When you make an attack roll against a target with less than full cover, choppa choppa, you can ignore the cover and attack with advantage if you can see the target. You can, well, less than full cover. You can make an attack roll with advantage and roll 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest roll to your result. You make an attack roll with advantage and, oh, that's right, it's 2. So you get advantage and you get to add power dice. You drop the cost to 1, that's pretty damn good. Ride the wind, you can chant equal to twice your movement speed. When the power ends, you can choose to gain the benefit of a Featherfall spell. Okay. When you make an opportunity attack, you can attack the same creature. So good. Opportunistic, I love that. When you make an opportunity attack, you can attack the same creature twice. God, that's so sick. That's it's basically flurry of blows as a reaction on an opportunity attack. I love it. You make a saving throw, you can roll 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest roll to your result. Skilled prowess. When you make an ability check, you can add your proficiency bonus even if you're proficient or have expertise. Swift attunement. Use an object interaction to attune to a magic item you're holding. Great. All those exploits work as intended. And if, and again, like Swift Attunement, like Hypertunistic is ridiculously sick. That's a 3rd rank power. That means you have to be 9th level or higher to use it. It's going to cost you 3 mana out of the 9 or 18 that you have per day. But again, you can learn it 2 additional times to drop the cost from 3 to 1. So I'm pretty damn happy about that. Okay, cool. So let's check out the powers for the Blood Hunter real quick. Power Synergy. When you use a bonus action to channel a maneuver, maneuvers are listed down further below. You can make a weapon attack as part of the bonus action. This attack can be made at the beginning, in, or during the maneuver. Empowered maneuver. That's the wrong language. Okay, great. Let's look at maneuvers. I think I can afford to make that 3. See, I don't have to be conservative on costs anymore, because if you want to get them cheap, you can afford to spend them down to make them cheap. I'm pretty good with that. I'm pretty good with that. So we can fudge around the cost of stuff a bit. Okay, so maneuvers. Make an attack with a weapon you're holding. Okay. You can empower a target ally within 30 feet to use a reaction to make an attack with +1 power die to hit and damage versus target you and your ally can see. As an action or bonus action, you can empower a target ally within 30 feet to use their reaction to make an attack with, let me go back up here, find better language. When using the help action to grant advantage to the ability check of an ally. Oh, interesting, right. There, we'll copy that. We'll go down here. To use a reaction to make an attack with there it is. Rolling 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest result to the ally's die roll. To the ally's attack. Against a target you and the ally can both see. You can empower target ally within 30 feet to use reaction. To take the move action. Use their reaction to take the move action. Target creatures you can see within 30 feet makes a charisma save. Fail equals no reaction. And to succeed at end of turn. Okay. Choose a creature within 30 feet of you. It takes 1 PD per mana. Force damage. And if it fails a strength saving throw, it's knocked prone. It can end the prone condition with mobility. You can dash, disengage, or dodge. How is that different from up here? That was what, 2 mana? Fast feet. When you take the dash action, you can also disengage or dodge as part of that same action. Got it. So fast feet. Oh wow, fast feet's pretty good. Okay, that is different from mobility. Very different, actually. Rally. When you or an ally you can see gains temporary hit points equal to a number of power dice. You or an ally you can see gain temporary hit points within 30 feet. Gain temporary hit points equal to a number of equal to 1 power die per mana spent. Is that how we're doing that? Let's actually go down to here. Your damage increases by 1 power die per mana burn. There you go. Equal to the total result of let's see, you or an ally you can see within 30 feet gain temporary hit points equal to the number of power dice rolled equal to what's the number of power dice? Gain temporary hit points. Gain temporary hit points equal to the number of power dice rolled for each mana burn. Rally, you equal to the result of power dice rolled. God, that's so hanky. It's supposed to be the number of power dice per the amount of mana burned times the power dice rolled. So if you burn 3 mana and you're spending a D8, then it's going to be 3d8 temporary mana that you gain by spending 3 mana. God, that's such a hanky. It's so easy mechanically, but it's so difficult to express with its natural language. Barf. How do we freaking do that? You or an ally you can see within 30 feet gain temporary hit points. Within 30 feet gain a number of temporary hit points equal to you or an ally you can see within 30 feet gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the result gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the result of power dice of 1 power die per mana burn. You or an ally you can see within 30 feet gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the result of 1 power die per mana burned. Equal to the total of each point of mana burn. A number of temporary hit points equal to the total of 1 power die rolled for each point of mana burned. Blah! That is a clumsy statement, but I think it's actually technically accurate. That's why we hire an editor to help us through all this shit. Overrun, you can move up to your speed and can move through spaces. You can move up to your speed through spaces occupied by creatures. Creatures move through this way, take 1 power die of damage. For each mana burn, period. If you end your turn in a space occupied by another creature, you instead end your turn in the most recently unoccupied space that you move through during your turn without dealing any damage to the creature. Creatures can only take damage this way once during a turn. You can spend a number of hit dice up to your max channel limit to restore hit points you or a creature you touch are missing. You can spend a number of hit dice up to your max channel limit to restore hit points you or a creature you touch are missing. You can spend a number of hit dice. You can actually to restore hit points. Oh wow. That's different. And it's first rank, so I'm okay with that. That is different from Rally. This is healing, while Rally is temporary hit points. Subtle, but important difference. Recuperation, you can block. Choose a number of creatures within 10 feet of you equal to your channeling ability score. Each target makes a strength save or is pushed 5 feet per mana burned away from you. Restraining hold. While grappling, you can force a grappled creature to make a strength or dexterity saving throw. If the save succeeds, The creature takes 1 power die of damage, either weapon or type of mana. For mana burned. One power die. Power die. Restrain hold. Yeah, these are maneuvers, which is either an action or a bonus action to use it. Or you can use it twice in the same round if you want. Repelling shockwave, recuperation, repelling shockwave. Got it. Restrain hold melee only. While grappling, you can force a grappled creature to make a strength or dexterity saving throw. If the save succeeds, the creature takes 1 power die of damage per mana burned. If the save fails, the creature takes 1 power die of damage. One power die of damage per mana burned. If the save fails, the creature is restrained. Until the grapple ends. The grapple ends when you break free, by the way. While grappling, you can force a grappled creature to make a strength or dexterity saving throw. If the save succeeds, the creature takes 1 power... You can deal 1 power die of damage per mana burned to the grappled creature. And force it to make a strength or dexterity saving throw. If the save succeeds, right, so you're going to deal damage automatically, and if it fails the saving throw, it's going to also be restrained. So at worst, you're going to damage it a lot. At best, it's also restrained, and you can. It's only 1 mana already, so that's freaking sweet. Choose a creature up to large size within 30 feet. If it fails a wisdom saving throw, it is lifted 5 feet off the ground and remains suspended, reducing its speed to 0 unless it can reach a surface or crawl along with its hands, costing an extra 4 feet of 4 feet for every 1 foot move for the duration of the effect. The creature can save at the end of each of its turns in the effect. You can spend 2. You can spend 3 mana to choose a creature up to huge size. You can There you go. And you can buy down these costs. So, Got another 20 minutes left. A Interesting. I like that switch. I like that switch. It's still a first rank exploit. Is that still first? It's still a first rank maneuver. Nice. You can become invisible until the beginning of your next turn, attacking or casting a spell. Attacking or casting a spell. Attacking. Channeling a power or casting a spell ends this effect. Goad. Second rank, which can be brought down to first. So let's see if these things click. And we'll get through the maneuvers, then we'll probably have to call it quits for the day. Target creature that you share line of sight with. Target creature that you share line of sight with and can hear you. Target creature that you can see and that can see and hear you. That can see and hear you. Makes attacks against creatures other than you with disadvantage until it succeeds in hitting you. Until it successfully attacks you or succeeds a wisdom saving throw at the end of its turn. Target creature you can see within 30 feet makes a charisma saving throw. Fail equals no move or bonus action until succeed at end of turn. Choose a number of creatures within 30 feet of you to channel of your within 30 feet equal to your channeling ability score. Each target makes a strength save or is pulled 5 feet per mana spent in the direction of your choice. Oh god, that's cool. In the direction of your choice. I love that. Phase. You become incorporeal until the beginning of your next turn. You can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain. If you end your turn in a space occupied by another creature or object, you instead end your turn at the most recently unoccupied space that you move through during your turn. Any attack that you make during phase deals force damage. instead end your turn in the most recently unoccupied space that you move through during your turn. Okay, we'll just leave it like that. Make an attack roll against a creature you can see. Other creatures gain advantage to hit that target until your next turn. That's everyone gets to attack with advantage, as opposed to only one person gets to attack with added dice damage. Double strike, make 2 weapon attacks with advantage. That costs 3. It would normally cost a monk only 1 to do a flurry of attack, flurry of blows, flurry of strikes. Flurry of blows. I think it's flurry of blows. Anyway, yeah. Make 2 weapon attacks with advantage. You could use double strike twice. You could use it if you spent. Okay, so you learn it once for 3. You learn it again as a feat. It drops it to 2. You learn it again. So you spend 2 feats and a power to learn this down to only 1 mana to use. You can use it like a rogue could spend 1 mana and make 2 attacks with your attack action. You could then spend another point of mana and attack 2 more times as a bonus action. So a rogue could get up to 4 attacks during their turn, spending 2 mana this way. And it eats up their action, their bonus action, but is absolutely going to allow them the opportunity to do a lot of sneak attacks, the opportunity to make sneak attacks if they can hit. Flicker Pounce. You can teleport up to 30 feet to a space within 5 feet of the creature that you can see and make a weapon attack against it. If the attack succeeds, you can choose to teleport back to your original position without provoking an attack of opportunity. If the attack fails, you don't teleport. You don't teleport again. TK Bubble. Choose a creature up to large size within 30 feet. If you fail a dexterity saving throw, it becomes trapped within an Udalix Resilient Sphere. The creature can save at the end. The creature can save to end the effect at the end of each of its turns. And how did that go? A 17th level. There you go. Paralyzed. Target creature you can see within 30 feet makes a cost save. Fail equals paralyzed until succeed cost save at the end of each turn. At the end of each of its turns. Sleeper hold. Melee only. While grappling, you can force a grappled creature to make a Constitution saving throw. Oh, this is the same as the restraining hold. We'll use that language. Restraining hold. While grappling, you can deal 1 power die of damage, either weapon or type of mana, per mana channeled to the grappled creature, and force it to make a Constitution saving throw. If the save succeeds, if the save fails, until the creature succeeds, until the creature takes damage. Succeeds a Constitution. or the grapple ends. There you go. And then maneuvers for the Blood Hunter. You force a creature you can see within 30 feet to make a wisdom saving throw. If the save succeeds, you can sense. If the save succeeds, you can sense if the creature is affected by any illusion or shape change effects, though not specifically what the effects are. If the save fails, all illusions and shape change effects affecting the creature ends. That's clumsy, but okay, great. Curse the Eyeless. You curse a creature you can see to reduce the result of all attack rolls by 1 power die. This is a first. Okay. You curse a creature you can see to reduce the result of all attack rolls by 1 power die per mana burned. You curse a creature you can see to reduce the result of all attack rolls by 1 power die per mana burned. By the highest roll of 1 power die per mana burned. The creature can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect when it succeeds. Nice. You can heal 1 creature by touch with a number of hit points equal to the result of 1 power die per mana burned. Do I need both Healing Radiance and Recuperate? Let's go back and look at Recuperate to see if they are overly Recuperation. You can spend the number of hit dice up to your max channel limit to restore hit points you or a creature you touch are missing. It costs 1 to use. Up to your max channel limit. Oh, God, that's clever. I like it. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. We'll come down here to Recuperation. We're gonna play with that in a moment. Hold on. Healing Radiance, we figured that out. Curse of the Muddled Mind. You curse a creature you can see to roll ability checks and concentration checks with disadvantage. The creature can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect when it succeeds. Great. Maneuver 2. She can buy down to 1. You curse a creature you can see to make saving throws against your powers with disadvantage. The effect ends when the creature succeeds a save against them. Okay. You can choose any. No, that's a maneuver. You can curse a creature you can see. Yeah, that's appropriate. It feels like an exploit, but it is a maneuver because this is something that you're doing to them. It's not modifying your action or your die rolls. It's modifying the target's rolls. So that would require action economy coming from you to modify it. That makes sense. Wave of Terror. You choose any number of creatures within 30 feet of you to make a wisdom saving throw. Each creature that fails is frightened of you. The effect ends for a creature when it succeeds a saving throw at the end of each of its turns, or if it loses line of sight with you. Okay, cool. So we're going to pause that there. Continue. Continue cost analysis, cost reduction analysis here. So we're going to scroll down here to stay tuned next week. Starting with reactions. Okay, let's go back to Recuperate. Let's go Cannibalize. Cannibalize Power. Requires channeling class feature. When you roll a power die, you can choose instead to spend a hit die. For example, a 6th level barbarian burning 2 mana, 2 fury points, spending 2 fury points to channel, to add 2 power dice to the damage roll of choose to spend 2 hit dice rolling 2d12 instead of the 2d6 power dice. Wow, that is sick and ridiculous. I mean, you have a very limited pool. It doesn't reduce your mana cost, and it eats up your hit dice, which may be valuable to you. Perfect timing. But if you don't plan on using your hit dice, otherwise you could burn the hit dice to increase the power die result to whatever your hit die is. For Barbarian, that's sick. Considering how difficult it is to recover hit dice, I don't think there's anything in the game that just recovers hit dice for you. If there is, it's third party, and third party doesn't have to worry about interacting with third party, because if you're mixing third party and expecting stable results, you're crazy. So this is fun unto itself. I'm really excited about this. So Cannibalize Power, Legendary Discipline. I bet these disciplines, I bet these practice disciplines can be folded into a single feat, but I'm not worrying about it right now. In addition to the feats listed above, the following feats can be learned instead of gaining ASI or learning a martial power. Practice discipline, superior discipline, legendary discipline, cannibalize power. All right, we're going to cut it there. We'll continue next week by churning through the reactions, and I think there's some fun exploits that we can build into, like the idea of a raised shield as an attack action. Very much Pathfinder 2. You spend an attack action to raise your shield. It adds to your armor class by the, say, your proficiency bonus modifier, but honestly, your maximum channeling level. Your max channel limit would probably make more sense to lean into the martial powers aesthetic and to keep it out of the hands of spellcasters like clerics or whatever. But yeah, you spend an attack to raise shield. It increases your armor class, your shield armor class by your max channel limit, and we would then also be able to use that as a reaction, like as a potential reaction trigger, like third edition had multiple reactions that you could spend based on your dexterity, but in fifth edition, having that based on the number of attacks that you get per attack action is actually a really clever solution. So that would actually be a maneuver. It would be a defensive maneuver that when you use this maneuver, as an action, you ready defenses. Maybe that's how you put it. Like, God, it would definitely be a maneuver. God, what a choice option. The biggest problem is rogues. Rogues exploiting multiple reactions that are triggering on various creatures' turns, because the core language of sneak attack is that you can use it once per turn, but you're hard capped at one creature, one reaction, which can trigger off of only one turn, which triggers off one creature, which means at best you're going to get 2 sneak attacks per round, and this is going to be flying in the face of that. So we need to monkey through that. Yeah, because opportunity attacks. Interesting. I think there's some limitations we can place there, but we're going to have to suss through that next week. So stay tuned, like, subscribe. Again, all this stuff is available. Click on the Patreon link down below. It'll take you to the About page, which gives you the link to this read-only playtest doc, so you can build a 20th level character right now and buff them out into martial powers. And got any questions, ping me on Discord, Twitter, or leave a comment down below asking questions if you want. If you can subscribe, that'd be grand. If you do, please just let my stuff play. Each one of them is a couple hours. You can just let them play in the background, and it'll help me log in those 4,000 hours I need to become a YouTube partner. And I need 1,000 subscribers, and I've got like 99 right now. So if you can help my dreams of being a online TTRPG game developer and artist, I love doing this stuff. I love you guys keying in with me. So like, subscribe, comment, share, blar, and I'll catch up with you guys later on tonight. We're gonna come back in and we're gonna do some Eberron book cover work. We're gonna do lettering tonight. So that's probably gonna be like around 10 o'clock EST. Don't expect anyone to show up unless they're in like Honolulu or Russia or whatever. But you'd be appreciated. So show up, come along, sing a song, and I'll see you when we get to later on.